West Ham United have shifted their focus on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Manchester United have lowered their asking price. United are soon going for a right back. Who will they get? Here are the facts about what's happening at Manchester United. Guys, I know I'm in a unique space, but that's because I was on an important barbecue, but I had to excuse myself, guys, and find a safe space to come and give you a very important update concerning Manchester United. Guys, like, share, subscribe, as I do get to leave my commitment, which is to bring you anything concerning Manchester United. Now, here's the latest. Aaron Wan-Bissaka leaving Manchester United, with United now lowering their asking price from over 15 million pounds to just between 10 and 15, as they do wait on West Ham, who are now willing to come back advanced. It seems now, from what I got from my sources, that what Man United was planning in terms of a swap deal for Dumfries is not happening. It seems, Inter Milan did wake up and they are saying they are not, exchanging Dumfries for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka was hoping he would go to Inter. He might now go back to the same West Ham that he did not want to join. So he is probably ready to listen and try to leave, because what is happening now is that Man United are saying we are back in sort of a sell to buy situation. Ineos are saying they are not going to bring in any right back before they let go of Wan-Bissaka. So the big focus now in terms of a clear out is Aaron Wan-Bissaka leaving, and then Ineos will now proceed to go and on the market and find a player to replace him. Now, in the meantime, they seem to have spoken to Bayern Munich. In the talks that have been going on for Mathis de Ligt, on the sidelines has been Noussair Mazraoui, who we knew they were interested in, but just yesterday, it broke that West Ham United had broken through and agreed on terms with Bayern Munich for him, only for the player's side to say, no, I'm not going to West Ham, because he's hoping and waiting for Manchester United because of a chance to be reunited with Erik ten Hag. So what we are learning, what I got from my sources today, is that Erik ten Hag spoke to Mazraoui and convinced him that United will come for him. So he's waiting on Manchester United. Guys, Ten Hag is still playing an important and pivotal role when it comes to these players. So it is like now it is highly likely that Man United are considering going for a Mazraoui unless something changes between now and the coming days. But from credible sources, United's focus is on letting go of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, go for a right back, and that should be Mazraoui. Even Bayern Munich are willing to get almost exactly the same amount that Man United will get from whichever club, most likely West Ham, that pays for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Get that money and buy a direct replacement for him. So forget about Frimpong for a minute. Right now, the focus is on finding a buyer for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and United then go on to bid for the Moroccan 26-year-old international. Now, of course, Mazraoui, we've spoken about him here, how he's a decent player to come in and, of course, try and push Diogo Dalot. He won't come in as a marquee signing as the first priority. He's a backup of sorts. The same way, like I've been telling you, their approach, Ineos's approach for a right back and the left back is to get players who are going to play back up to those who are there. So even in the left back, they will be moving fast indeed in the coming days to try and see what solution they get. But don't expect Man United to sign a marquee left back, because the plans are to keep Luke Shaw and, of course, hope that Tyrell Malacia will return fully fit, so that we have three and, of course, have that bit of depth at the club. So beautiful stuff happening when it comes to at least clarity. I think for me, was always going to be important, because I don't think after signing these centre backs that we signed, after going for players like Manuel Ugarte, you want to waste time, go back and forth about a right back. Honestly, that's not a department that I thought I really think should be wasting our time, and that's what Ineos are saying. So if we are going back and forth, sort it once and for all, because at least what has been decided already from the entire team is that Aaron Wan-Bissaka is leaving Manchester United and heading out. So we are waiting for West Ham to place an official bid, and of course after that we will move on to try and bid for Mazraoui. Now, when it comes to Manuel Ugarte, of course, still the same thing, the same update. We are waiting for an official bid, and that could only happen probably next week, because that is when PSG expect to sell Joao Neves. When Joao Neves is done, expect a movement when it comes to Manuel Ugarte. That's the situation with Ugarte as we do speak. Remember too, as well, guys, we are going into this weekend where Man United will be playing Arsenal. The players have been training well in LA. So expectation is that it's going to be a good game. I told you, between Man United and Arsenal, there are no friendlies. There are always going to be battles, and indeed, United are ready to take on this battle. In terms of delete, the issue with delete is still silent. The thing is, Man United are waiting for Bayern to make up their mind. At the very, with some luck, if I would say, the best that could happen is Man United making a double deal. I hinted about it before because someone mentioned it to me from Carrington, that there is a possibility that Man United are contemplating a double deal, a double attack on Bayern. And actually, by that time, that's weeks ago when someone mentioned this to me. I think I mentioned it in one of my 2 or 3 of my videos in the past. And by that time, Mazraoui had not emerged as a big player on the list for Man United. But what Man United could do with the elite is to try and bid for him and maybe Mazraoui, now that they're going for him. So you could be surprised. Don't be surprised, rather, if Man United makes 2 signings from Bayern in situ in the coming weeks, in the coming days. But all that is dependent on Aaron Wan-Bissaka leaving. Bayern, I told you, are desperate for cash because they have got deals they want to happen. Remember, they're also in a rebuilding phase where their new boss, recent company, needs time, needs ample time with these players if he's going to get the best out of them. So it's a critical time. This is the time in the transfer window where things get to change, start changing and twisting, and they have got to move fast because the season is being is in sight. It's getting in sight. The new season is getting in sight, and every team has got to put their act together now and get their players in so that we see a bit of progress. When it comes to Jared Brantwaite, I think Ineos next week, I think, should be the timeline. Ineos have said again. This I'm told that by next week a decision should be made on whether they proceed to wait for Everton to make up their minds if they ever do. But it seems Ineos are tending more towards giving up on Jared Brantwaite and moving on to either only bring in one other centre back, because Harry Maguire, like he said, the decision could have been made that Harry Maguire is staying at Man United. When it comes to Jadon Sancho and PSG, whereas the talks were held between Sancho and PSG over personal terms, there seems to be a drag when it comes to Man United and PSG over the player. It seems PSG may not be willing to meet Manchester United valuation of the player. So it's also an emerging and developing update, that story rather, that we need to monitor. And of course, I will be here to give you all the updates about it. But for now, guys, that's what's happening. A big wrap up. But the focus, like I said, so many things are going on behind the scenes. But the focus now is mostly on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. With all the other players, at least the groundwork has been done. For now, we are waiting on something to happen so that Wan-Bissaka leaves, and of course, a right back will be brought in. My name is Webb. This is the Native of Sport. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm back to my party.